Your suffering is my suffering. Your sadness is my sadness. तुम्हारा दुख मेरा दुख है. इसका क्या मतलब है? हमें we are taught in the text, in the books, in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, all those stories that has come down to us tell us this is what a sadhu is supposed to be like. This is how a spiritual master is supposed to look, behave, act. Is there any truth? क्या इन सब कहानियों में और धारणाओं में जो आपके पास आई हैं उसमें सच्चाई कितनी है? How much truth is there in these stories, in these? And if you look around, and if you see the sadhus, the sadgurus, the people, they embody that stories. They behave as if they are a character taken out from one of those books, which describes what a sadhu is supposed to be like, how he's supposed to live. But what about the person who goes to him, goes to her, and discovers that she or he has found a new home, a new place. So there have been people in my life. There's one example I can give. In fact, few. So she became a disciple of a saint. I'll call the person saint. And that at least made her feel that it has transformed her. Although nothing has changed, but still she felt that she is no longer what she was. And that's a very good feeling. We all feel sad for a woman because the world is ready to push her down. Women and children are the most mistreated people of the world. They're also the weakest. So you have her who has found a new extended family for herself, a circle of like-minded people, a place which she can now call her home, her ashram, her people. And that's a very good start, right? I can see through all this drama still. आप कभी भी उसका मजाक नहीं बनाते. You never confront her or make fun of her or tell her, look, you've fallen in for a cult, you've fallen in for, a theater, a kind of illusion. This path is not going to lead her to her own true self. And it is worth knowing who you are. But Vilma explaining to her her situation, telling her that this is the whole game of illusion. Help her. First, she will not listen. Second, I would have to transform myself into what I am not. Put up a grand adambar of spiritual mastery, a spiritual show. Be part of it. And attract people like her to me. Rather, in her anchoring, I see a new hope, a new potential for her to feel at home. To feel loved in this life crushing situation that we all find ourselves in. Now, will she realize that she is the very source of the universe? That Brahma is experiencing its own reality through her. The whole universe is experiencing itself through her. Now, if she knew and saw or experienced her own truth herself, will she take refuge in this illusion, this adambar, this whole show drama? Probably not. And still, you don't talk her down through negative thoughts by telling her that she is, all these things are not going to help her. That the world that she has entered is not going to help her to realize herself. Rather, I'll encourage her and try to make her feel at home. I'll do what I can. If she wants me to go and meet the teacher, I will. Will I join him or her? No. I know what I am. I know what he is. We are ultimately one. Right? How do we realize this oneness? How do I let her, him, me experience the universe, experiencing itself, the whole, the totality experiencing itself? And in doing so, it disappears behind us. All we have in the forefront is the experience, and we get lost in that experience. But we are not that experience, but we are that which is experiencing this experience. So is that world, the people, her, me, others, any different? No. We are the same. The eye through which I experience the world is the same eye through which he and she is experiencing the world. And so her pain is my pain. I'll give you another example. I had a friend whom I went to meet after almost 15 years, maybe even 20 years, I don't know. On the same day, her sister had visited him from Mumbai. And I'm always quiet, I don't talk much, you know. And then she started talking about spirituality, about one should be happy and dance and sing. She was very impressed by one of the teachers. And she kept on talking. As time went by, all of a sudden she started crying and she broke down. I had no idea why. And I came to know that she is undergoing a lot of stress and that she is separated from her husband. And she was undergoing the trauma. It's not very easy to come out of this pain, especially if you're a woman. I could see her pain. I could experience it. I can also see her being impressed by dancing, singing, enjoying. Life is a wonderful song. Or is it? And still all I could do was smile. Try to comfort her. Participate with her in a dance and singing. And if she had prompted me to go and meet her teacher, I would have gone and probably danced and sang with him. Would have done the yoga, the practices? Do I need it? Do you need it? Probably not. Would I, like nowadays, you find some teachers shouting at the top of their voice, telling youngsters and others to expose the false gurus. But I can tell you one thing, that if you know the truth, agar aap satya jante hain, and you are an awakened person, you will never indulge in any of these activities. Another example I can give is one of my friends who's a very famous documentary filmmaker, and he was doing a documentary film on the widows of Mathura. Exceptionally good filmmaker. And in that film there was an old lady whom they had interviewed, lived with, and tried to depict her life there in the ashram. Old. And it turned out that everybody was sad. No one was happy. Despite the ashram taking care of them. Food, clothing, functions, celebrations, festivals, everything was taken care. Even a certain amount of monthly sum of money was being deposited into their account. So they were taken good care. Absolutely no doubt about it. And that's the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. And it's also common in other dharmas. So, in the documentary, they bring her home to her son in Delhi. She had abandoned her son several years back. No reason is probed why, but it's understood that Patine, things didn't work out. But now the son had realized his faults. The daughter-in-law has realized her fault. And they kept crying, weeping, telling her to stay with him. The children are missing the grandmother. But she lied that she is very happy, that it's like Vaikunt. How can she leave Vaikunt and come down to this mess? On the other hand, from other interviews, we come to know that she was very sad. She was suffering and she didn't like this life at all. She kept complaining about everything in the world, including the ashram, the people, and so on. So, a filmmaker, friends, told me, look, after all this, she cannot face or tell the truth. She's lying. And they were quite upset about it. But I could see through her. I could feel her pain. I could feel that if she lied or if she has done this drama after meeting her son after several years, it's just to protect her self-esteem. Yes, and wanted to show that she's living like a princess. She's living in Vaikunt. She's close to the feet of the God. She's in communication with divine powers. And the truth was something completely different. But I could feel her pain as she kept, badbolapan, kept expressing how great she is and how she has attained a deep level of peace. And she's very happy. Why would she come and stay here? Anyway, she goes back. So the point is that I could feel her pain. I could feel and I could sympathize with her. Sometimes suffering, you hide the suffering behind the lies that you tell to yourself and others about you. If you are awakened, you will let things be. Because you know that the whole, the totality, the whole universe, Brahm, is experiencing itself through you and through them. You may think that, what about evil? What about wrong things that people do to you? When I was young, I would say that you meet people who, your family, bring them up like children, take care of the fees and education, allow them to live in your house, and they take sexual advantage of you because you trust them, and they take advantage of your innocence. But if you're aware and awake, you can see through it. Next time, after they move off, when you meet after several years, do you write a police complaint against them? Probably you should, if you feel like. Do you insult them? Do you hold them for what they have done? All I can say in my case, that there was always something detached and separate. There was always a witness present. It was as if me and them were part of a theater. And this may shock many social workers, that by keeping silent, by being silent, I'm allowing people like him or her or others to perpetuate this evil. Maybe or not on me, but on someone else also. That's one way of looking at things. But once you experience yourself, you no longer experience the violence. You no longer undergo trauma. You no longer suffer. Because you instantly can see through that person. Something has gone wrong. And something has gone right for me. So I have in all I cannot pinpoint from the time, but as far as even when I was 3 years old, or whatever my memory, I remember this detachment was always there. It was as if I'm seeing a show that is running on the screen, and I have no control over it, but I'm experiencing it. So I'm the experiencer, and also it's very strange to, it's very difficult to express it in words. What this detachment means. What does it mean that when you're detached, when you are who you are, your true self, you don't see evil. Like a film, you see a villain doing things. Do you react against that villain? No. You know this is a cinema, this is theater. Something like that. I know many might take this to be a weakness, but it is not. you have a theater running. You have no control over it. At the same time, there's a witness witnessing all this. So these are people who are caught in the theater of things, in the drama of existence, and are unable to detach and know who they truly are. You feel sad for them. You don't hate them. At the same time, you can't do much. You cannot change that character. Just like you cannot suddenly say, in a film which is running on the screen, that this is not how the villain should behave. Let's change his script on the fly. Let's make him a good man. Let's abuse him and expose him for what he is. You don't do that. So we'll end it here today. And we'll carry on trying to encourage you, everyone, to know their true self and not get caught in the illusions that surround you. Because the theater, the illusions, you are not that. You are the heart of the universe beating. You are the eye of the eye. And still you are that little character that you see suffering and pain. And everyone's pain, suffering is yours too. You are not separate from them. We'll carry out the discussion next time.